number 86. 7WE17. Werewolf, female, located in Tanzania. 2BA99, Banshee, located in Northern Ireland. 0SI31, Siren, the Icarian Sea. The man's been all over. 0DJ01, Jinn. How did he manage to catch a Jinn? Bought from trader, that's how. Well, you have a look in your eyes, don't you? But I suppose being locked up in here isn't the most ideal setting. They're very piercing, your eyes. 8VA83. Vampire. Bought from trader. Not chatty, are you? I don't know what I expected. It's not like an animal shelter. The conditions are not the best, are they? Even the smell is rotten. How long have you been in here for? I'll ask the paper instead. It's probably more chatty. 4 months. I bet it's been like this ever since you came here. Silence must be common from you. I can imagine I'm not the only one you've seen in here, browsing the aisles like furniture. I bet some are even tried out in any way the buyer wants, in view of everyone else. So they are. Your face says it all. Are you wondering what kind of buyer I am? I know you understand me, but you don't need to talk if you don't want to. I'll just sit here, and we'll have a nice, one-sided conversation. How about that? Well, you're in luck, because I have a knack for reading people. I'll assume you haven't had company since you ended up here. None of you have. It's rather sad, in a way. If I had the intention, I would free all of them. But I don't. I apologize for any of you listening. You'll hear whatever I say, even if I whisper it. Our conversation won't be between just us, I'm afraid. You can move closer, a little more into the light. I'm not here to hurt you. And with your prowess, I wouldn't be able to. But that would be if you weren't drugged up. And this sort of cage is specially designed for your kind, isn't it? The trader told me about it. Collectors in his field dying because they don't know how to contain what they buy. You don't protect yourself from fire by wearing gloves. If you know how to control the flame, you won't need gloves at all. They think obtaining something powerful gives them power, but the real strength is knowing how that power works. If you had the choice, you'd rip me apart. All I need to do is move just a little bit closer, and you'd reach through those bars. That's it. Game over. If you did, I wouldn't blame you. It's a part of your nature, that bloodlust, in many forms. I don't fear death. I would certainly not take a chance being this close. But I am because I can. And I wanted to see you better. I don't expect the traders to take care of you. All they're interested in is the money, not the comfort of their captives. And the buyers want their fire as is. I'm curious to know how many died soon after purchasing. That's something they don't put in the brochure. They didn't put much about you, did they? No name, no age, not even where you were taken from. You know, I heard a story, a very interesting one, that a wealthy man called Ivan Lard Cusick was found dead in his home a few months ago, along with a woman, Renee. You don't like that name, do you? See, I looked at the crime photos. Killed is a pleasant word for what you did. You didn't butcher them either. You didn't use any weapon but yourself. You tore them apart with your bare hands, carried them from room to room, and ripped them even more, didn't you? Are you reliving it right now? Remembering what it felt like, tasted like? I know you couldn't resist feeding off of them with that amount of blood splattered everywhere. Puncture wounds were found all over their different body parts. Well, Ivan's. Renee's were... I have never seen anything like it. It's like she was mauled without any care. Don't worry, I'm not here to arrest you. That's preposterous. I ensured the attack was buried. After the photos were taken, I had people clean up, as if nothing ever happened. According to official reports, Ivan and Renee booked one-way tickets to Bali, where they're currently enjoying their beach villa, spending money on extravagant wines and cuisines. I knew Ivan from a friend of a friend, and he told me that you were Ivan's prized possession. He showered you in everything you could possibly want, and though you weren't seen much by the public, he always talked about you, as if he was obsessed. And I think he was. And you liked that. Why else would you stay with someone you could easily kill, as you demonstrated? See, I don't think it was something as trivial as jealousy. You know how to handle that, or at least keep it hidden. You loved him, didn't you? You felt betrayed. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, or feel free to just talk in general. From what I've found, you did everything for him. But as soon as Renee came along, things changed, didn't it? He spent more time with her than you. He hosted parties in the mansion and locked you away. But normally he would return to you, right? Instead, he spent his time with Renee, and he rarely sought you out, only when he wanted something different to spice up his life. Am I warm? Looks like I am. When I heard about you, I was curious. I've known about mythics and their existence for a time, even though at first I couldn't believe it. It went against everything I understood, but legends aren't born without an origin, and they're shared by cultures who've never had any interaction. I was a skeptic. Now, obviously, I'm not. All the mythics in here, it's almost unimaginable. And yet, here you all are, captured by humans who are either too afraid of you or who want to subdue you, to make some quick cash and send you off without a care of what you'll do to whoever buys, as long as they pay. Ah, the elusive vampire finally speaks. Would you like some water? Or what about blood? I'll give you both. It's no trick. I don't expect you to trust me, but they're there should you want them. Would dying really be worse than the conditions you're in right now? Do what you want. Anyway, to answer your question, I'm neither. Initially, I was afraid. You probably heard how fast my heart was beating. I could. But now, sitting here, I've come to realize that anyone in here could kill me without breaking a sweat. The only things preventing my death are cages and inhibitors. The trader told me he has gas at the ready in the vent unit to knock out all of you. And it would kill me because of the high dosage. So what does that mean? It means that humans aren't at the top anymore. In some cases, we never were. But our fear and violence to our own kind for being different was only a fraction of what humans would do to something else that threatened their position in the world. The trader looks at you with a syringe in hand and sees a wad of cash. I see someone beautiful. I know where I stand in the pecking order, and within the grand scale, even money can't save me from you. I don't want to subdue you. I want to use you. I require your services, and in exchange, I'll give you protection and attention and anything else you desire. That's why Ivan died, wasn't it? He neglected you. You went from being his most valuable treasure to a small trophy he buried in the attic. And for a human, no less. That must have made your blood boil. Oh, I know it did. All you really wanted was his attention. Even though you could have escaped at any time, kill him at any time, you chose not to. And you stayed with him. You wanted it more than he did. What happened was inevitable. Pets lash out when they aren't getting what they need. Isn't that what you were? Given a home, went on walks, trusted your owner, was provided for. You could bite or attack or leave at any time, but you didn't because he cared for you. I would because I know what you crave. You don't just want attention, you want to belong, and it's a very human need that I can give. I don't have anything to be afraid of if I keep to my promise. What you did to Ivan and Renee, it was necessary. Humans are notorious for never settling, always wanting what they don't have, and when they have it, it's on to the next conquest. We are never satisfied. It was only a matter of time for Ivan. From what I heard, he bathed himself in riches so people befriended his money. Only you were there for him, and he lost sight of that. I don't view society like that. I already have the money, the power, and the influence. I want you. Somewhat out of boredom, but mostly because I've heard some troubling news. Because of what I do and who I am in my work circle, you could say. Some of them aren't completely happy with my decisions lately. Those loyal to me have said that a few of them plan to unseat me at best and assassinate me at worst. I did say that. I'm not worried about my death if I'm killed by you. What I'm concerned about are the coworkers who are breaking the rules they agreed to. I follow them precisely because I'm expected to, and I'm an example to the rest. I put one foot out of line, and someone will ask for a vote of no confidence. I might be one of the most influential in the circle, but I'm also the youngest, and that adds extra weight to everything I do. I don't want you to kill them, otherwise I'll be just as bad. I'd like to bring my own weapon to this fight, and for that, I'd need you. Because I need to control their behavior outside of work, which isn't breaking the rules. I'm not allowed to bribe or blackmail or influence a decision that relates to work in any capacity. But there's no harm in taking precautions when my life is at risk. Yes, that's where you come in. I'm open to answer any questions you might have for me. I do plenty of things. But if you're talking about work specifically, then I can give you the short version. You do have all the time in the world. Well, where should I start? I am part of a small collective. We manage certain conflicts and treaties behind the scenes, and shape the way we think the world should be shaped. We're above the 1% of the 1%, above the ruling powers. If we want war, we'll manufacture it. If we want peace, we'll make it. It depends on what goals we have, and what we think needs to be accomplished still. We each have our priorities, but we all have to acknowledge the bigger picture. Some people can put their inner desires aside and understand what needs to be done at the sacrifice of their wants. Others can't. They rarely see past their own apparent needs. And that's why they don't understand the measures I take for the good of who we are. We are who will govern the future. But the older members have lost sight of that vision. They're stuck in the past, blinded by problems that have already been solved, but they can't bear to realize that they'll soon become irrelevant, that their views don't align with the newer generations, and they try to hold on to that for as long as they can. Yes, removing me seems to be a priority for them now. They don't want to change. They want to keep the status quo because it's always worked in their favor. Our resources and connections combined span the entire world. A lot of money is involved in what we do, and some of them have been showered by it. And I don't blame their greed, but I can't ignore what intentions they have for me. Because despite my age, I see the world for what it is and what it could become. I'm not an idealist. I know some things are impossible to achieve no matter how much you try. And that's why I like to compromise, so both parties get something out of it. But to them, that's the new way of thinking. They're ready to get their hands dirty, but only to line their pockets. When it comes to the betterment of humanity, they don't have the valor, or the integrity, or the strength to forfeit their soul. I do. I have done, and I'll continue to. And that means I'll also be stepping on the fragile toes of my elders. I haven't been part of the collective for long, but if I'm already a hindrance to them, I can't imagine what they'll be like when my connections exceed theirs. I'm close already. I need to tie off a few more, extend a hand to others. Oh, I take it very seriously. I don't think you understand what we've done, what we've orchestrated. International power is at our disposal. We can build a world that's better, and sometimes we need to experience discomfort to learn and recognize what comfort really is. I haven't experienced nearly as much as other people, but I sympathize. The world needs to get to a certain level of chaos for the people to demand order. You can't know one without the other. They're beautifully balanced. I do it because I was given the opportunity, and I'm taking full advantage of it. Everything is changing too quickly for my older peers. They can't keep up, and they don't see the possibilities right in front of them. The technology, the power, the innovations. Life has never been this good, and it'll only get better. But with that, we can control it, understand it, and define it in a way that will benefit humanity rather than destroy it. I'm not a savior. My decisions have buried many people, and I can live with that. But those choices led to a better peace, an outcome everyone could get behind. Sometimes I need to fund or sponsor a side I'm not aligned with to provide those I want to win a way to fight for it, to give them a better standing. Exactly. Without conflict, there's no resolution or discourse of any kind. Yes, that's what I believe, and I strive to be that in my collective. And yet, some of them think my ways are too destructive. Not in a literal sense, but to their own endeavors. Well, if they think I'm too destructive, then having you by my side will add more fuel to the flames. And if they so much as try to touch me, they'll burn. You're my fire, my weapon. I won't treat you as an object. I could, but I know you're more than what the dossier says. You're more than what the legends say you are. I don't want to minimize that. I can only imagine the kind of pain you've been through. I don't even know how old you are, but living for even a couple of decades would have no doubt been a waking nightmare for you. Ah, so You're fairly new at this compared to other mythics. When you killed your last owner and his mistress, didn't you wonder what would happen to you? I mean, from the document, it says you were taken willingly, without a hassle, but you were drugged as a precaution. You don't have great survival instincts, do you? Or is it you don't care? I feel like I need to know the state of your mind before purchasing you. I could have anyone else, but I want you. Look at you, all perked up. It doesn't take much to have your tail wagging, does it? I want you in whatever way I please. What way do you like? You're not a docile person. You want to be understood, and sometimes without saying it. Am I right? What else could make you lash out as you did? He wanted something shiny and pretty to flaunt, and then he wanted something else shiny and pretty. And if you hadn't killed them both, he would have done it again and again. I've had partners in the past, but I've never betrayed any of them, and I won't start that now. So tell me, do you want out of your cage? I want it to be your choice. I admit that I can simply buy you, keep you sedated, treat you like your former owner. But I won't, because I'm not an owner. I am a master for a reason, and I want us to have a mutual understanding, to help each other. That's it. I ask for something, you oblige. You ask for something, I may grant it. You might be stronger, but I'm the one in charge, and you don't want everything handed to you. You need stimulus. You're a vampire, after all. It's in your nature to covet a chase. Maybe not in the conventional way, but neither do I. We're almost made for each other. I don't need to lie. Bend the truth, perhaps, when I need to, but I never lie. Listen. Listen to my heart, and hear the truth. See? You have nothing to fear from me. You shouldn't fear me at all, or any human for that matter. You are more than the cage you've been locked in. I want to give you some kind of agency in return for your expertise. I bet you're itching to get out of here, into more capable hands. Well, I don't see a line of people wanting to adopt you. Do you know what happens when mythics are captured in a place like this? I hear that humans, and even other mythics, find them for nefarious reasons. Being bought to be sold by someone else is about as lucky as you can get. But if you don't... And I apologize to those who've had little choice but to listen to me. Scientists like to experiment. Like to know what makes you tick. It's much harder for you to die, so many of you will become perpetual living autopsies. Think about it. The creatures in this room. You have access to power that shouldn't exist. Immortality, compulsion, shape-shifting, manipulating energy. Humans have been trying to harness it for centuries. And I've heard they're getting close to one of them. So they relish these markets. Some are funded by my colleagues, and others by independent companies or nations who want to use you for warfare. They've already stripped away your humanity. They think of you as animals for them to do with as they please. In a work environment, I'm associated, but I don't consider myself one of them. Instead of force, I like to be diplomatic. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. No cages, no chains. Unless you ask for them specifically. Just a mutual agreement. No, you're the first, I'll own. but I won't be your owner. I'm a master for a reason, and you must call me as such. Yes, everyone does. Mostly. A select few call me by my name. When I trust you, I'll give it. Maybe. But if you agree to come with me, you'll address me as master, and understand that the orders I give aren't negotiable. I need someone who knows how to behave, because by behaving, they'll get all the attention they want, all the needs they ask for. All you need to do is agree and trust me. Well, you've already listened to my heart, my words. How else would you like me to prove myself? Is the bottled blood too cold for you? Do you prefer drinking from the source? Fair. You're the first vampire I've been this close to, and the first who'll drink from me. Does that excite you? I said I'm not afraid. I know you have the power to rip my arm off, to force me through these bars. I won't make it to the other side alive, but you could do it if you wanted. So drink. I know what the man said, but I break some rules if it gets me what I need. And you don't lose in this situation. That's the risk of being down here in the first place. Everyone knows it's their own fault if they die being surrounded by nature's greatest achievements. What else do they expect? He's probably watching and listening right now, finger over the button. But you're all worth more than me. It's easier and cheaper to clean up the mess you make rather than kill all his merchandise. That's what he thinks of you, not me. So, drink. I'm trusting you. You look starved. I bet you haven't had a good meal since your owner. Now, stop drinking. I'll have much more for you in your new home if you accept. Good, Pat. Already listening to their master's orders. You can release my arm now. I do trust you. I don't think you'll risk starving or dying over a quick meal. Are you savoring my blood? Do I taste that good? Your saliva. I heard about that. Allows for discreet feeding if you can heal the wound. Your blood does the same, doesn't it? Your kind are the most sought after. Extraordinary healing, strength, and speed. Immortality, enhanced senses. I'd argue that you're the apex predator, one of the highest in the food chain. Not many people want to admit that, especially entitled humans who think no one can best them, even if they look death itself in the face. That's why they need you. All of you. They want to become just like you. Me, I don't want those things. I don't want to become the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I have more important things to deal with. I know when I'm bested. In a battle of anything other than influence and money, material things, and you'd beat me every time. So I'd like to keep it close rather than destroy it. My influence and your raw existence? We'd be unstoppable. I believe in a better world, a more honest one. And if you care for your brethren in these cages, you might have the ability to help them, to shape societies into thinking of them as allies instead of beings to fear. If all goes well, and you're true to your word, just as I am to mine, I'll make you my heir, to my fortune, to my seat in the collective. That'd be something. I can see them all quivering in their chairs. I am better than Ivan. You'll only need 1 day in my care and you'll see that. He was too arrogant and conceited, and he was surrounded by yes-men, as you know. I might be seen that way, but arrogance and confidence, when seen by people who lack the latter, are one and the same. I have money. I have power. I have influence. I have wisdom from my elders. I have opinions of the future. Being born decades after some of them makes me a child in their eyes. The only reason they take me seriously is because I've demonstrated my abilities and I've proven myself. But that doesn't mean they like it. Even my view about mythics, they think it's bizarre that I don't want to round you all up in a pen and test weapons and chemicals on you. And that my first thought isn't to experiment, but to befriend. Having talked to you, that resolve has only strengthened. I would like to have you by my side, if you'll allow it. This doesn't work if you don't agree. You won't be a prisoner with me. Are you tempted? I've dangled all that I can in front of you. It's your choice whether you'd like to leave with me or stay and pray for a miracle. Good. I'm glad to have you. I'll talk to the trader about releasing you. I have to follow whatever protocol he has in transporting mythics. But I will ensure you wake up in a comfortable bed, in a room that belongs to you, in a house and on a land that belongs to me. Once you leave this place, you'll belong to me too. A signed paper means nothing, only your consent to be mine. Do I have it? Wonderful. What do you say? Thank you. What? Fast learner. I'm looking forward to working and playing with you. I'll talk about the details when you're in a better position. I've talked as broadly as I can here. There's so much more for you to learn and understand in my world. But I have faith in you. Once people hear that you're by my side, they won't dare attack. And while you keep me company, I'll give you what you want. Our relationship will be nothing if not interesting, and I can't wait. Well, you can hear I'm excited, so why ask? You're that type. I am excited to have you, pet. You like it when I call you pet. What did Ivan call you? Succulent. I don't doubt you are. But that amounted to nothing, didn't it? You can rest assured that you'll be the only pet I have and plan to have. I will only be yours. Come closer and I'll seal it. Are you that needy you can't wait for more blood? Be patient, pet. You won't get what you want from my lip or my wrist. You'll get more than that, I promise you. Under Ivan, you are a trophy. Beside me, you'll be a knight. Well, I think it's fitting. Knights are strong, and honored, and feared. and they follow orders from their king. I'm no king, but I might as well be. Confidence and facts, not arrogance and dreams. You'll come to understand why soon. For now, think of your new future. It's a shame I can't buy all of you today. I came with a mission to find one in particular. But I'll pass on your location to those I trust. You might find better lives out there with them. You don't deserve to waste away in here, captured and beaten and assaulted like mindless beasts. I'll do what I can, but if no one's interested, then Godspeed. Say your goodbyes, pet. You'll be leaving tonight.